Hello everyone, welcome to the When at Work podcast. You're with host Julian Lee. Today I'm joined by the fantastic Chris Malgeri and Mike Horne. Welcome to the show, gentlemen.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome.
Thanks for having me.
Let's get the music on. And we're going to play Jeopardy. Let's load up the board. The categories today are nots to you, which are answers which have not in them. Lightning, movies, playwrights, South America, and weddings. Dr. Mike can kick things off on the left. What would you like?
Let's go lightning for 100, please.
Lightning for 100. Lightning causes over 10,000 of these a year. And Smokey the Bear is getting mad. Bushfires. Smokey the Bear. I'm pretty sure that's correct, even though it's in a tiny font. It is forest fires, bushfires. Absolutely correct. Well done. Mike, you're in control.
Lightning for 200, please.
Lightning for 200. In the 1931 film, he used lightning to bring his monster to life.
What is Godzilla?
Mike has said Frankenstein, which sounds a bit better to me. That is correct. Mike's on the board and in control. That was worth 200 points, Mike.
Lightning for 300.
Sorry,
please.
not Mike.
Yeah, that was
Chris. Chris got that one right.
Yes.
Sorry, Chris.
Yes,
I've actually given you the points, and you're in control.
Very good. Well, let's keep it going. Lightning for 300.
Lightning for 300. Of 25, 50, or 100 miles, the longest length lightning strokes can reach. Is it 25, 50, or 100 miles?
What is 100 miles?
Hey, Mike, you might as well have a guess just in case.
What is 25 miles?
Let's take a look. It is 100 miles. Well done,
right.
Chris.
Let's go to movies for 100, please.
Let's go over to movies. These are probably old movies for 100. Let's take a look. Composer profiled in Song Without End and Listomania. Never heard of either of these. Anyone heard of these movies? I mean, really? Could they pick more obscure titles? Well, nobody knows. Let's take a look. It was Franz Liszt.
Franz Liszt, yeah.
Composer.
That's what I thought.
Oh, Mike had a bit of an inkling. Continuing on, Chris.
All right, let's go to Knots to You for 100. See what that's all about.
Knots to you for how much?
100.
100. Kind of knot that sounds like it's tied by your mother's mother.
What is a granny?
I was going to say grandmother, but yes, of course, a granny knot. Well done, Chris.
Thank you. Let's try it again. Knots to You for 200.
Knots for 200. Knots to you 200. Term for a knot used to fasten a rope to an object or your wagon to a star.
What is a hitch? Hitch
A
knot.
hitch is correct. Well done. Chris, on fire.
All right, let's see if my Boy Scout training paid off. For one more time, Knots to You for 300.
Knots to you for 300. This geometric knot is one of the oldest in use.
What is the square knot?
Square knot instantly is correct. Well done. Geometric means shape. I was thinking maths, but it is a mathematical thing. You're in control still, Chris. What would you like?
Thank you. Let's try South America for 100.
I reckon you should have stayed on knots. South America for 100. Ecuador derives its name from this geographical line.
What is the equator?
The equator. Sounds pretty good to me. Well done. You're in control still, Chris, on 1,200 points.
South America for 200.
South America for 200. In the past 12 to 14-year-old brides were not unusual in this Portuguese-speaking country. Brazil, that's the only one that speaks Portuguese. I didn't know about their young brides. Hopefully they don't do that anymore. What would you like, Chris?
Let's do South America for 300.
South America 300, up to 80% of the counterfeit dollars passed in the US are from this coffee country. Probably not known for more than just coffee. If you have a guess, Mike, you can jump in.
What is Colombia?
That's what I'm thinking. They're into all sorts of shifty things. Colombia is correct. Sorry to any Colombians listening. You're also home of Shakira, so you made up for it. Mike, you're in control.
South America for 400.
South America for 400. An estimated 40% of the world's total copper supply is in 3 mines in this coastal South American country. Where's all the copper from?
What is Argentina?
Argentina. Do you want to have a go, Chris? Just in case?
I have no idea.
I'm going to guess Chile, because somebody told me there's
Chile.
mines in
That's it.
Chile.
Yes.
I'm not sure. Chile is correct.
Chile.
And I did not cheat. Did not know the answer. Well done, Julian. No points for me. You're still in control, Mike. Whoever was in control, I think it was Mike, wasn't it? Yes, with the
South America for 500.
South America for 500, once known as Upper Peru. It has had over 20 presidents since World War II. Probably more than that now. Next to Peru.
This time I'll go. I can't think of my geography.
No, where is Peru? Is it? I think it's up the top bit, maybe.
Yeah.
Reasonably
Yeah.
close to Mexico.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe
knows?
starting with a B, I'm thinking of, or I'm thinking.
South America, so it's going to be Mexico, Central, South.
Yes, it can't be central, which is El Salvador and Honduras and Guatemala and Mexico. So maybe yes, a bit south of that. If I had to guess, I'd guess Bolivia. Time's up. No? What does it say? Let me just make that bigger.
Yeah,
It
looks
is
like
Bolivia. All right. Well done, Julian. Trust me, I have no. It looks like I've cheated, but I haven't. I just upload these bad boys. All right, continuing on. Who's in control? You still are, Mike.
in control.
You are.
Let's go to the last category for 100. What is that last category?
That is weddings for 100.
Weddings. Yeah. let's try
According
weddings.
to Kodak, only 45% of these are taken by a professional.
Photographs.
What are wedding photographs? Yeah.
Yep. So Chris got in there with that one. Well done. Kodak, are they still in business? Probably not.
I think so. Residually, yes.
Oh, okay.
Residually.
My old mum's probably still gets Kodak film developed. Chris, what would you like?
Let's go weddings for 200.
Weddings for 200. In a military wedding, an enlisted bride may wear a gown or this.
What is it? Dress uniform?
Dress uniform. I didn't know that. Well done. Are you in the military previously, Chris?
No, my wife was a lead psychologist at a base in Anchorage at the hospital, volunteered teaching at the hospital. So
your wife's an officer, is that correct?
What's that?
Would she be classified as an officer?
She was a contract employee.
Right. We have we call them officers here, like the as opposed to a soldier, I think, and they get special privileges. Well, Chris, what would you like?
Well, let's ring that bell again. And weddings for 300.
Weddings for 300. Actual title of the music from Mendelssohn's music for A Midsummer Night's Dream. What is the music piece made by Mendelssohn in Midsummer Night's Dream? I'm too uncultured to ever be able to get something like this. Nah. I can tell you a Metallica song, that's about all. The answer is The Wedding March for Titania and Oberson. Is that, the Wedding March, that's the famous...
The wedding march.
That's the wedding, yeah, dun, 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 or however it goes. All right, continuing on. Chris, still in control.
Let's do weddings for 400.
Weddings for 400, the bride piece is the opposite of this.
The bride price is
Think flowers.
Where bride price, that's the dowry.
Oh, the bride price is sorry. I thought it said bride piece. It's bride price is the opposite of this. And you said dowry. Okay, let's take a look. It is the dowry. Well done, Chris. I don't think we do that anymore, do we? Well, I don't think I did a dowry.
Yeah, that'd be nuts.
Yeah.
All right. Let's close out the board. Weddings for 500.
Weddings for 500. By ancient law of this religion, one of 3 ways to get married was simply to consummate the union.
This religion.
That's a pretty good religion. You just, or maybe a bad one. I don't know. You don't want to get married when you're drunk. All right, let's have a look at the answer. The answer is Judaism. Oh, interesting. Okay. You're still in control, Chris.
All right, let's go back to knots to you for 400.
Knots to you, 400. Half a pair of pants or the looseness of a knot in a knot.
Slack.
Slack is correct. Well done, Chris.
Knots to you for 500.
Knots to you for 500. Not tightness per se, but this kinetic force gives knots their holding power. It's a bit of a physics question.
What is friction?
Yes, did you say friction?
Friction.
Yes, it's got to be. Friction is correct. Well done, Chris. Absolutely stomping the board. No offense, Mike. Sometimes it happens.
No worries. I'm okay.
Lightning for 400.
Lightning for 400. Aided by lightning, each year 100 million tons of this gas washes into the soil and becomes fertilizer. What is in fertilizer that gives it all of its...
What is nitrogen?
Yeah, I think so. That's why you can actually make TNT with it as well, I think. Nitrogen is correct. Well done.
All right, lightning for 500.
Lightning for 500. Unpunished in the Maxwell Anderson play, Rhoda is roasted by lightning in this movie's finale. Probably an old 50s movie or something. Who knows? Nobody knows. Let's take a look. It is the Bad Seed. The Bad Seed. I've heard of a band called The Bad Seed. All right, let's do one more question. Chris, finish it off and we'll wrap it up.
Go movies for 500.
Movies for 500. Go big. For this Kipling story, John Huston first thought of Gable and Bogart, not Michael Caine and Sean Connery. Do you remember that movie with Michael Caine and Sean Connery? I just happened to have watched this movie. I loved it. The Man Who Thought... They go to India and there's this tribe of people who believe them to be Alexander the Great. They believe Michael Caine to be Alexander the Great, and he just kind of rolls with it and starts acting like he's the king. And I think the movie was called The Man Who Thought He Was King, or The Man Who Became King, or something like that. Let's take a look at the answer. The Man Who Would Be King. All right, well done, everyone. Let's have a round of applause. Mike on 400 and Chris on 3,400. Mike, Chris just got on a roll there. It was incredible.
That's good.
And he didn't even know he was going to be playing.
Congratulations, Chris. That's great.
He thought he was just going to do a podcast interview. All right. Well done, Chris. All right. Now, let's pop over to Dr. Mike and have a chat. Give him a chance to talk because we didn't hear much of him in that game. Tell us a bit about what you're up to, where you came from, and how you got into coaching, I guess, would be the best thing to start with.
Well, thanks so much, Julian. I'm delighted to be joined with both of you. I am a coach, mentor, and teacher. That's what I do. It's been the theme that's been consistent across the work that I do, helping leaders in the C-suite and those aspiring to the C-suite deal with the most pressing like people issues. My work is really all around creating dignity and kindness and respect in the workplace, and how that manifests in our systems. So that's a little bit of me. I'm sitting here today in near Palm Springs, California. That's home for me, out in the desert, Palm Desert, California.
How far are you from the border?
Not too far. I think Mexicali is probably the closest big town.
Oh, okay. So you're down the bottom. You're not towards Vegas or anything?
No. Yeah, Mexicali would definitely, yeah.
Oh, cool. You might have a few tunnels under your house then, Mike.
Maybe.
Now,
mostly it's golf courses.
Golf courses, gotcha. What's the C-suite that you mentioned?
So I primarily work with a lot of research and development executives in biopharma and biotech, high tech. So folks who are really working at innovation, bringing innovative products to the marketplace to help us with our medical issues, technology issues, and a smattering of people in fintech as well.
There's a lot of that going on in California. Well, you're a bit far from the valley, but that's probably the biggest state in the world for all of those tech businesses. And
sure, and I leverage all my experience from Silicon Valley and from the San Francisco Bay Area, plus a role as a global consultant, having worked on most continents at this point, and getting to interact with a lot of great folks.
Prior to getting into coaching, what area were you in, Mike?
Yeah, my expertise is in executive coaching and in organization development. I've led big HR teams in global organizations across the world. So
it sounds like kind of that industrial psychology stuff. Is that kind of what you do?
I think that's a good analogy. Yes.
Yeah, it's a huge boom area, because people are finding that things have changed a lot, and workers have certain expectations about how they're treated, and you talk about the fact that bringing a bit of empathy and kindness and treating people well has certain benefits. What are some of the benefits that you've seen that you can bring to an organization if you focus on some of these non-traditional things?
Yeah, I describe this fully in my next book that's coming out, called The People Dividend, Leadership Strategies for Unlocking Potential, which is a whole sort of treatise, a guide, a way for managers and leaders to work on these concepts. It all starts with degrees of authenticity and trust, and how leaders can build those into the work environments they're creating and leading.
Yeah, and people don't like to be sort of told what to do. They want to have relationships with their upline, and you've got to really have a lot more soft skills, I think, than maybe you needed to in the past. And so you've got a book coming out called The People Dividend, and when will that be coming out?
We're shooting for mid-October. That's everything's in the go green for around October 15th.
Oh, how exciting!
So. Yeah, it is very exciting, this one. I'm very excited about this. Last book was integrity by design, working and living authentically. So in many ways, it's an extension of those ideas about how people can bring more of who they are to what they do, and make organizations better, not in a rehabilitative sense, but in a way that addresses revenue generation, profitability, and engagement.
And how do you sort of interface with people? If somebody is, what size companies do you work with, and how do they get into your world? And do you have like a call with them? And how do we get the ball rolling?
Yeah, not to be funny, Chris, but size doesn't matter. What I think about is that some of the folks that I work with are founders, they're inventors, they're brilliant people who have ideas. So they're at a point perhaps where they're evolving their company, so their organization might have 25 people, or they might be in stealth mode as they begin to launch in the biopharma world or in the biotech world. So I've worked with organizations and I work with individuals who, when I engage with me directly, So we can go from, one to organizations I've worked in that have 100,000 plus people.
Awesome. And anybody that's got a book, I always say people should read the book. It's the best way to learn about somebody. And obviously, you can learn all about Mike's ideas and check out his first book. And he's got the People Dividend coming out in October. So thank you very much, Dr. Mike Horne. Round of applause for Dr. Mike. All right, let's pop over to Chris Malgeri. Is that how I pronounce it? I did.
Malgeri.
Malgeri, okay. I was close. All right, now, the power of mindset. Tell us a little bit about your journey. So you sort of started as a fitness coach. Are you still a fitness coach?
I am. We focus here, my wife and I have the Synergy Center. We focus on a collective wellness program, right? So my background is in martial arts and fitness. I still train in martial arts and fitness quite regularly. It's all I've done since I could remember. Martial arts is what I do. And then that branched out into, when you're 20 and people are competing, you have one mindset, right? And then when you're 30 and you have kids, then martial arts, fitness, wellness becomes something else. So our idea is to help guide people using martial arts, fitness, wellness, could be yoga, ballroom dancing, whatever it is, in a way to enhance their life, to make sure that things are well-rounded, make sure that there's stress relief, there's some harmony in relationships. It depends on what the particular clients need, right? I may have people, I have a couple guys that I train here. I'm in Central Florida, near Orlando, and they're just a bunch of great guys that need to move some, and they're not going to be world champions anytime soon, and they don't care, right? They want to enjoy martial arts on kind of a hobby level. I've trained people in UFC and Bellator and other kind of high-level events. I've worked with the military. I worked with the Boy Scouts. So really, it's finding a path to bring the kind of skills, the kind of practices that will enhance someone's life and someone's well-being in front of them, and give them a path and guide to change as they change, right?
I love the traditional martial arts. Everyone's sort of saying, "Oh, they're not relevant anymore." But it's not true. And also, the best thing about traditional martial arts, there's so much more to them in terms of all of the respect and self-discipline and stuff, which they're great. They're great things to do. What was your background originally, Chris? What martial art did you do? Or you've probably done them all, haven't you?
Sure. I started with a traditional Korean martial art called Tang Soo Do way back when in Cheshire, Connecticut YMCA. I had a fantastic first instructor, and he encouraged me to just train whatever I wanted to train. And in the early 80s, if you started with one thing, you stayed with that one thing. But I was able to transition with a group of people that cross-train and have a variety of different passions. So when I started with the man who would become kind of my guide and my mentor, David Hatch from Attributive Martial Arts in Canton, Michigan, the whole world opened up. On screen you see me with the stick and knife from the Filipino martial arts. It's probably one of my favorite things to do because of the longevity, right? People won't necessarily train kickboxing until they're 80, but there's a lot of people doing Filipino martial arts later in life as a recreation, right? So I've traveled through a number of different disciplines. I had my time when I was younger, and I was competing early on when mixed martial arts was just starting out, right? And then as you change, your arts need to change with you, right? And what they mean, like you're saying about the discipline and respect, the humility of martial arts. When martial arts becomes too much of the sports, that has a tendency to shift the mindset a little bit. Yeah. The me, I want to win, it's all about me. But when it's more of a team and a community and you're training for the love of the art, it becomes more of a we kind of mindset. How can we travel together? How can we get each other better for whatever that means, right? For some people, it's just health and wellness. And for some people, it has a more serious connotation.
And where do you do all your teaching?
So it's a little bit 50-50 right now. I have a private gym at my house where I train people, but we do a lot virtually. So because we've moved around so much, my first gym was in the Metro Detroit area. And then, so I still have students that I train from late 90s, early 2000s that connected with me and were training virtually. We moved to Alaska. I have students from Alaska that I train, New York, wherever. I have a few students from California that touch base with me. So virtual is a huge option, right? It is a way to connect with people and keep them going, because when you develop relationships with people, sometimes they just want to stay with you and see what they're doing. So the one-on-one virtual is really the core of what I do right now, and our platform for online learning. We're looking to launch that the first of the year, where, because I homeschool my children, we have a whole platform for all the different things that I teach geared towards the homeschool environment.
Oh wow! And is that going to be you're going to adapt that for the training and the martial arts? Is that what you're saying?
So the goal is to unify the parent and child relationship, and teach the parents how to work with their kids when I'm not going to be present. Obviously, like when we were in Alaska, homeschooling is a big deal because we have all the separate communities. So they might not have access to martial arts as a resource. So to teach the parents how to become something of a coach, to work with their kids in a positive, interactive way. Sometimes parent-child coaching can be delicate, right? That's why they bring, when I had my Detroit school, they used to bring their kids to me and drop them off because they just needed a little peace of mind. But my wife, as a psychologist, and I have developed training and teaching programs so that we can integrate more functional education, at the same time really try to make that the parent-child bond better, right? And then we have the connectivity where they can reach out to me, we can touch base for critiques and things, see how things are going. So that's one community versus, for example, I'm 52 now, so I'm training generally an older generation, and we're just trying to have fun, enjoy the art, not get hurt, just make this a longevity practice. So it really focuses, who am I talking to? It's really how I'm going to adjust the methodology to be as effective and developmental as possible.
Awesome. So you've kind of like, you've got a bit of a network with the homeschooling community, and
Yes.
You've got a few clients who are doing homeschooling, and you've got a way of integrating their educational programs with some martial arts fitness stuff. Is that correct?
That's correct.
That's awesome. Really interesting way to approach it. I love hearing about people that find their ways into unique areas. That I think that's really great, especially these days. How there's a lot more homeschooling, and also there's a lot more people wanting to do stuff remotely. So that's great. If that sounds like something you'd be interested in checking out, check out Chris's website. I've got the link in the show notes, and you can get in touch with him and get a bit of fitness and martial arts training happening at home. Sounds awesome. Thanks very much, Chris.
Thank you.
And also, thank you, Dr. Mike Horne. I'm going to wrap things up. As I said, if you want to contact the guests, please do so. See you next time.